Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1254B, and today's date is April 13th, 2017, and the title of the episode is The Deep State Ups the Ante and Pushes Their Agenda with This Simple Move. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, roughly a month ago, during the height of the mainstream media mania over Trump's alleged collusion with Russia, Judge Andrew Napolitano came out, and he was on Fox News, Fox and Friends, and he reported something, saying that GCHQ, they were receiving the surveillance from the Trump campaign, passing this on to Obama. And, of course, the intelligence agency, Obama, and everyone in the deep state said, this is crazy, and Judge Napolitano said, no, I have two sources, and they are telling me this, and I do believe them. They showed me that this is what is happening. And we can see right now that Fox then suspended Napolitano for what he was saying. Now, some 30 days after he broke the story, we see that, this is all true. And CNN seems to have confirmed it by looking at all this information. They are saying that the British and other European intelligence agencies intercepted communications between associates of Donald Trump and Russian officials and other Russian individuals during the campaign and passed on those communications to their U.S. counterparts. So, I guess they were spying. And then The Guardian is out there with an exclusive rebuking the GCHQ denial, confirming that Obama had received information from the British spy agency, possibly to avoid being detected by people investigating the FISA warrants. And it wasn't just GCHQ, MI6 was also involved, and 4 other nations. And these nations were Germany, Estonia, Poland, and Australia. So it looks like when Trump was out there saying that he was being spied on, and Judge Napolitano was out there saying that, yes, this information was being passed to the Five Eyes and then brought back to Obama so there'd be no evidence whatsoever. It all turns out to be true. And then we come to find out there's another piece of evidence that shows that this, yes, is true. A newly revealed FISA warrant shows that a Trump campaign advisor was under surveillance by the deep state during the campaign. And the Washington Post is reporting that the FBI obtained a secret court order last summer. Now, either the FBI is lying now or Washington Post. What is happening here? Because all this information that is coming out is showing that Trump, when he was out there telling the world that he was being spied on, it's all turning out to be true. And the FBI obtained a secret court order last summer to monitor the communications of an advisor to presidential candidate Trump, part of an investigation into possible links between Russia and the campaign. And guess what? Nothing was found between the Trump team and Russia. There was nothing there whatsoever. Now, the FBI and the Justice Department obtained the warrant targeting Carter Page's communications after convincing a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court judge that there was probable cause to believe Page was acting as an agent of foreign power in this case. And again, nothing has been discovered that there was anything going on. But what we do see is that either the Washington Post is lying now or the FBI lied before. Because we could see that Trey Gowdy put Comey on the spot during the hearing saying, well, you have a leaker, you have someone who unmasked the information, a crime was committed, how come you aren't going after this individual? And Comey, he didn't know what to do. He stumbled. But now we find out that there was a FISA warrant, the FBI was involved, and the truth is now coming out. And we also understand that the Obama administration, certain individuals in his administration had the ability to unmask Americans' identity. So what's happening here? Why is the corporate media now all of a sudden saying, yes, this is true? Is it because Trump at this point is doing what they want, or maybe he's making them think he's doing what they want to pull all this information out? I mean, a lot of things that are happening right now really don't make sense. And you have to remember something very important. The corporate media, they are pushing more and more lies. And you can tell the lies are getting bigger and bigger and more over the top. Now remember, the deep state, they're trying to keep control. They want control of the situation. And what they're going to do is they're going to tell you more and more lies. And the lies are going to be more complex, much larger, and just unbelievable. And they're going to continually hit the American public with more and more lies. It's like a machine gun. You got to keep firing until the target is obliterated. This is what they're doing. They're rapid firing these lies because this is the only way they know how to convince the American public. Now, hopefully the American public is not buying this, but we can see they're going to continually do this until they saturate the entire corporate media, the entire narrative with their lies. Now remember, the deep state, they are in control. They want to stay in control. These are men/women who are behind the curtain. Men/women who control the government and its policies from the outside. Men/women who have immunity from prosecution. Men/women who tell presidents what to do. Men/women who can hide in plain sight, who don't need to be elected to public office, who can laugh at their critics and call them conspiracy theorists and purveyors of fake news, who can determine financial and banking policy, who can set up corporate tribunals that nullify national courts, who can set virtually any national policy agenda they want to. This is who the deep state is. It's the CIA. It's the NSA. It's the neocons. They are the unelected deep state. It's the central bank. That's who the deep state is. This is what they're capable of. And this is why there's a battle going on between the deep state and, as Bixby would say, the good guys. Now, the corporate media is out there, and they are saying that Russia, well, they might interfere in the October elections in Montenegro. Now, we know that Trump signed the provision that Montenegro will now join NATO, and right now we can see that Montenegro is going to vote, and they're worried that Russia is going to interfere with this, which will not allow Montenegro to join NATO. Now, the corporate media, they're pushing the idea that they have credible reports and it's a possibility that Russia might interfere, and they're building the propaganda up because they want Montenegro. They want Montenegro to become a member of NATO. And this is why they're pushing the idea that they might be fooling with their elections. And again, this again is propaganda, just like Russia, hacked the DNC, hacked the election system in the United States, and put Trump in the White House. All of this, again, is propaganda from the deep state. We see right now that things are really building up in North Korea. The deep state, they want a war. They want to push their agenda, so they're trying everything possible to do this. Now, what's very interesting is that Trump is speaking to Xi Jinping of China, and he wants China to work on the issue of basically coordinating and communicating with the U.S. and Korea, North Korea, to try to bring the two together. And if this can't happen, Trump is out there saying that, well, it would be great if China decides to help. That would be great. If not, we will solve the problem without them. Now, what does that really mean? Well, the corporate media is out there saying that we're going to go in and remove Kim Jong Un and replace him completely. Does that really mean that? Well, we don't know for sure. But we can see right now the deep state, they are pushing in this direction. They want a regime change. They want North Korea. And the lies are getting bigger and bigger. Right now, Japan's prime minister is saying that North Korea's missiles, well, they may be capable of delivering sarin nerve gas. I mean, this is how bad it is getting right now with this propaganda. They're just putting anything out there to convince you that it's time to go to war. Remember, the lies have to get bigger and bigger and more outrageous. Now, the next piece of propaganda is that North Korea is preparing a nuclear device detonation. And they're out there, and this is Steve Herman from Voice of America out there saying that, yes, they have a nuclear device in a tunnel and it could be detonated by Saturday. And if they do this, so what? They're testing a nuclear weapon. Other countries test nuclear weapons. Did they attack the United States? No. So, I mean, they're trying to really make this a big deal. They're trying to make this a threat. So if North Korea tests a missile system, if North Korea tests a nuclear weapon, how does this affect the United States? Now, people say, well, they're going to use this to attack the United States. Yes. Have they attacked the United States? No. I mean, the United States tests their missile systems. Should North Korea attack the United States then? I mean, think about what's happening right now and what they're convincing everyone of. They're just putting more and more propaganda out there, and they're just building on it. And they're continually doing this. Now, they're out there saying that the U.S. may launch a preemptive strike on North Korea. Now, if they do this, this is an invasion. The rest of the world is going to see this as an invasion. Russia and China, they're going to see this as an invasion. And what do you think Kim Jong Un is going to do? Now, let's say he does have a nuclear device ready to go. What do you think he's going to do with this? Now, of course, do I think the United States is going to go in there and invade North Korea? Well, no, this would be very hard to do. It's against international law. There's no mandate for it. The Congress did not vote for this. And if, let's say, Trump decides to shoot Tomahawk missiles into North Korea, well, this is going to be a problem because they can't use the excuse of the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda. They can't follow the 2001 war bill that they have. That's all null and void. So what are they going to use? There's nothing there. This is all hype. This is all propaganda. Now, what they might do under the cover of darkness, behind shadows, is try to remove Kim Jong Un, but they can't admit to that. Now, they might be trying that. We know that's one of their moves they like to do. Now, North Korea is out there, and they are slamming the U.S., saying, listen, and this is coming from North Korea's vice foreign minister, that the United States is making trouble. If North Korea wants to test a missile, it will test a missile. It will do it when it sees fit. And this has nothing to do with the United States whatsoever. And I hate to say it, but they're absolutely right. So you need to really remember and think why all this is happening and why we hear all of this in the news. It's the deep state banging on their chest, trying to get everyone prepared and ready for war. This is what they want. They have to make the lies really big, and they have to make it look like the other country is about to do something, where most likely they're going to stage it and make it look like they did. Because we can see right now, North Korea, they're not going to do anything. They're not attacking the United States. They're not doing anything unless the United States goes in and attacks North Korea. Now, the deep state, if they go in and they plan this covert operation and North Korea sees what's happening, well, they might make a move on that. And this is what the deep state is hoping for. This way they can declare war. Now, the U.S. dropped the MOAB, this massive ordnance air blast bomb, the GBU-43B, nicknamed the mother of all bombs, for the first time in combat. And they dropped this on the Islamic State tunnels and personnel in Afghanistan. Didn't we already bomb tunnels and mountain bunkers that really never existed? Wasn't there a guy that was hiding out there that really didn't have any part of the World Trade Center coming down? But they knew exactly where the hideout was and what it looked like inside. They just couldn't find that individual because he died of kidney failure. But we can see right now what's happening is the United States is out there and they are demonstrating weaponry. And they're sending a message to Russia, to China. Look what we have. And again, it's the deep state pounding their chest because they're preparing for war. This is the ultimate goal of the deep state because they understand, and the deep state has made up the central bank, the neocons, and the rest. They understand that the economy is falling apart and collapsing right now. And they need to cover up all of it with some type of an event with war. Now, CNN is out there, and the corporate media, the deep state, they're all working together on this. And if you notice, they continually use the anonymous official reportedly told them that this is happening. And they really never have concrete facts or evidence. And they just keep pushing this out there. Now, there is a rush to show that the sarin gas attack, which was never a sarin gas attack, there's a rush out there to show that it is confirmed that it is sarin gas, that yes, this did happen and it came from Assad. Now, Assad is out there saying that this is 100% fabricated. There is no evidence whatsoever. So this is very interesting. The global chemical weapons investigators, they've gone to Turkey to take the samples from Turkey to analyze them to see if sarin gas was used. Because Turkey said, yes, we took the samples, we have them, we've done autopsies on the bodies, and yes, it was sarin gas. And they try to bring in the World Health Organization, and the World Health Organization said, well, we really had nothing to do with the autopsies. That was all Turkey. And we see right now that Turkey is saying, well, we've given these samples and everything to the OPCW, and they've confirmed that, yes, it is sarin gas. It tested positive. The only problem with this is, where did they get the sample? Shouldn't the OPCW go to the site? Shouldn't they launch their own investigation? They should have nothing to do with Turkey right now. And this is why Russia is out there. And he is saying that the U.S., Russia, and other nations should have a special independent UN and OPCW-based study, and it should investigate the attacks. And it should be done at the site of where it happened, so they can collect the evidence. Now, again, the deep state doesn't want this to happen. They don't want an investigation, because if there was an investigation, guess what? They would find out that this really never did happen. And this is what they're very afraid of. Now, when we looked at the photos and we looked on how the rescue workers were treating the decontaminated people injured or killed in the gas attack, the workers, again, weren't wearing any gloves or protective gear, so we know there's no way that this was sarin gas, because they wouldn't be just touching the bodies. They wouldn't be that crazy. It could have been chlorine, or maybe there was no gas in that area. Maybe they just used it as a false flag to pretend that there was a gas attack. Now, maybe something did explode and gas did leak. Maybe it was chlorine. But that area where these individuals were showing that, they were hit by gas, it's completely fake, phony, and false. 2, an MIT professor, Thomas Postol, he is showing, without a doubt, that the U.S. intelligence document does not provide any evidence whatsoever that the U.S. government has concrete knowledge that the government of Syria was the source of the chemical attack. And he said that any competent analyst would have had questions about whether the debris in the crater was staged or real. He said no competent analyst would miss the fact that the alleged sarin canister that the corporate media and the intelligence agencies are using to show that, yes, Assad did do this. He said, well, there's a problem with it, because the sarin canister was forcefully crushed from above rather than exploded by ammunition within it. How would a canister purportedly drop from an Assad-ordered plane incur crushing from above? He says, it doesn't even make sense. And he goes through this whole report of showing that this is completely impossible. And we can see right now, there needs to be an investigation. But again, the deep state doesn't want this. And again, why would President Assad do this? He was winning against the Islamic State. He had support by Russia. And Trump and Tillerson and Nikki Haley all said, you know what? Assad can stay in power. That's not our motivation anymore. So why then would he use a gas attack? Again, it makes no sense whatsoever. We have to remember what the deep state did to us once before with the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, about what happened with the incubators in Kuwait, about what happened in Libya. So who benefits from all this? It's the deep state. They're the ones who benefit from all of this. And we need to remember the New York Times back in 11/21/2016. While claiming that Assad had deployed chemical attacks, the the article also states that the Islamic State has deployed chemical weapons 52 times since 2014, which shows us that the Islamic State, they are the ones using the chemical weapons, not Assad. So far, there's been no proof that Assad has ever used chemical weapons. So where are we today? Well, we can see right now out in Syria, Putin, by showing that the deep state is planting other false flags, he kind of stopped them from doing anything else in Syria. Does this mean they're not going to do anything in Syria? No. But for right now, the deep state has been put on hold. Does this mean that they're not going to try to do anything? No, but they're going to focus now on North Korea. Remember, they're using these two areas because they realize that they need to get this war started. And if they can't get it started in Syria, they're going to have to try to get it in North Korea. If they can't get it in North Korea, they're going to have to go to Syria. But it doesn't matter because in the end, all the players are exactly the same. They're all going to join in together, and this is what they want. They want war with all of these players: Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, Syria. This is what they're trying to accomplish. This is what they've been trying to accomplish for a very long time. So we can see right now they're going to be pushing their agenda out in North Korea. And we can see right now that this Saturday, the 15th, this is a pivotal point because the deep state has been broadcasting that the North Korean government, they're getting ready to test a nuclear weapon. This is why the sniffer plane is out there. Even if they don't test anything, the sniffer plane is going to pick up nuclear fallout and they're going to report it all over the corporate media saying that they tested a nuclear weapon. We need to go to war. But once again, Congress didn't vote for war. Trump just can't say, hey, let's go into North Korea or let's fire some tomahawks into North Korea, because what is he going to use to show that he's allowed to do this? Now, they've been using this fake war bill that was created back in 2001 to go after Al-Qaeda to go into Syria. But North Korea, where's the Islamic State? Where's Al-Qaeda? It's going to be very difficult to use this. So right now, we can see at this point, this is going to be a very difficult situation once the deep state shows that, according to them, North Korea exploded a nuclear device. And this is where we'll be at that point in time. And we'll have to see how this whole thing is handled. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.